Hello and welcome to round 9 of the Queer Lit Readathon. Today is Sunday, June 5th, and I lost my wallet. It's in my house somewhere. It is in the house. I remember having it in the house, and I have looked everywhere. And so I am going to hopefully find it in this video. That would be amazing. I don't go many places in general because I'm an introvert, but also just I work from home, and this was my lunch break that I lost it somehow. I went to get lunch. I came back to the house. Like, I remember having it in my hands, going to put it away, and that's where my memory cuts off and I can't remember. So I've been literally cleaning my whole room trying to find it because I feel like I've had it in my room, but I just feel like I've checked everywhere and I'm kind of losing my mind at this point. But I am also in the middle of my queer graphic novels vlog. A lot of my TBR is also for other videos. Like, I'm going to be reading Cafe Con Leger for another video, so I have a lot of filming going on this week, and I just hope that I find my wallet. I feel like I've looked everywhere, but where is it? that's it. Welcome to a fun-filled week of the Stanley Cup playoffs and just celebrating Pride by reading, because I have not gotten a lot of reading done. It is Sunday night. I actually finished the book I was currently reading, and now I am in Queer Lit Readathon mode. I just started the comic book anthology Love is Love. It is in honor of those who were killed in the Pulse shooting in 2016. All proceeds from the sales go directly towards the victims of Pulse. And I started it and I'm enjoying it. It's very timely because as of now, I mean, as of always, there's always mass shootings going on. There's just currently the one in Uvalde, and now there was actually one in Philadelphia, and I'm not too far out from there, and it's just honestly horrific. So I'll have some links down below for how you can help just get gun reform, because we really need it. Like, honestly, this is getting really tiring of having this news all of the time. It is so hard to just read this over and over. It is so sickening, and we really just need gun reform because this is getting fucking ridiculous that it happens all the time. Like, honestly, the statistics are so disgusting. Like, this should just not be happening anymore. Like, we just need this to end. So if you are also like me and you want gun reform, I'll have links down below. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling, and so I'm gonna go through this very lightly because I just want to not feel sad and, like, honestly hopeless. But I'm hoping that things will change because I feel like this time is hopefully different. I'm also going to start Cafe Con Leger, and I also want to start my audiobook of Alatsue, which I'll probably just do tomorrow. I have to finish up editing my book recommendations video that's going out on Tuesday. Every Tuesday in June, I'm going to share queer book recommendations, so feel free to hit subscribe if you haven't. Hello, it's Monday, and I started Cafe Con Leger this morning, and I am obsessed. I love Hate to Lovers, and the hate is real. Like, from the first sentence, Theo is like, I hate this guy, and I never want to see him again, and I hope that I never have to, and those are the vibes that I love. But I'm obsessed with this. Also, allergies are really in full force today. I'm feeling a lot better now, but I really just want to spend the whole day reading this because I'm obsessed with it and it's so good, and that is just the type of book that I love. And so I want to read more of it, but I have things to do. Still haven't found my wallet, so today I might have to just do some replacing. I honestly have looked everywhere. I know it's in a stupid place, but my brain cannot think that far. So while I take some Instagram photos, I'm going to listen to my audiobook for Alatsue. I kind of wanted to start everything, so I feel like I've had some progress, and I'm just going to go back to the comic when I can. Let's get into the day. Hello, it's Tuesday, June 7th at 3 p.m. I just finished work for the day, and honestly, by the time I woke up, I was just thrown into doing YouTube and Instagram stuff. I took some Instagram pictures because I didn't get to do it yesterday like I said I was going to. But yesterday, I started a Let's Way, and I love it. Oh my god, I love it. And I can't believe I haven't picked it up sooner. I can't believe I was sleeping on this book. It is so good. This is about a 17-year-old girl, Alatue. She goes by Ellie for short. She's Lippin Apache, and she has a ghost dog. She has a ghost dog, and her cousin Trevor was murdered, and she's just trying to figure out what happened. And no one around her believes her, but Trevor's ghost came to her, and it is a ghost story, and I am obsessed with it. Like, honestly, I just want to listen to it forever. It's a long audiobook. It's 36 chapters, so I am going to try and get through it by the end of the week. I'm glad I started it yesterday because I know this might take me a whole week because it is a long audiobook. It's 36 chapters and I have 6 hours and 55 minutes left, which isn't a lot, but I want to also prioritize other books on my TBR. So that's my audiobook. I am loving it so much and I just can't wait to read more of it because I'm so excited. I really love the audiobook. The narrator is so good and I just feel like they really capture Elasue's voice, and I am just so excited to read more of it. I love it. I'm obsessed. Hockey news. The Avs are going to the Stanley Cup final. My NHL bracket that I made at the start of the playoffs was Colorado versus Florida Panthers. That didn't happen, but at least I got one part of it right. I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan, and one of the players that we had who was put onto waivers and then scooped up by Colorado is on Colorado, and my man is making it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy. So I'm gonna be cheering him on. And honestly, I was just spending the day trying to get my stuff renewed and replaced because I still don't know where the hell I put my wallet. So I'm just gonna have to replace things for now because I need my money and I also need my government ID. So I'm trying to get all of that sorted out this week. But the biggest thing is going to be having my card. I need money to go to the author event. Editing me here. I was talking about the event I was going to, but never actually mentioned it. So I was going to see Mazey Eddings. She's the author of A Brush with Love. She was doing an event at the Barnes & Noble in Philadelphia, and that's where I was going. So that's what I'm talking about in this video. Now, back to me. So I called my bank and I'm actually going to be able to pick up a replacement card there. So hopefully I can do that today or tomorrow. I'm gonna read more of Cafe Con Leche. And guess what? I forgot to tell you. Yesterday, my pre-order incentives came. What a good time for that to happen. So I have my signed book plate. So I got a sticker and also some character cards. I'm so excited because as I read, I get to just see what the characters look like and I'm just obsessed. So I'm gonna read more of Cafe Con Leche. I'm just having a chaotic week, but honestly, if you know me, it's probably not a surprise. I just finished this book and I sound nasally because I cried. Every trans memoir always makes me cry. Like, honestly, any trans book in general that is about coming to terms with yourself and coming out always makes me cry. And oh my god, I loved this so much. And now I can update my bingo board. But I'm hoping to spend the night finishing up my comic of Love is Love. It's actually a little slow because it is an anthology of comics, but I'm hoping to finish it up tonight as well. So I'm gonna watch some hockey. It's actually been so boring. This series Tampa and the Rangers, it feels like they're doing nothing. It's currently scoreless, and it just has been boring. Like, the first two games were fun, but now I'm just bored. So bored that I was able to finish this book. So that's my plan for now. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, it is Friday, and last night I started and finished Welcome to St. Hell. I really enjoyed it. I review it more in my queer graphic novels vlog that will be out next week. So this was my first read of the readathon. This means I can check some things off of my bingo board. Nonfiction, graphic novel, and the choose your own is going to be trans author. It was trans rep, but I decided to change it up so it would fit. And now I'm hoping to finish the graphic novel Love is Love. It's just long. Like, it's fine. I'm liking it, but some of it's heavy, some of it's long. It's a DC comic, so like there's a lot of just superhero stuff, which is cool. I'm not a big DC fan. I'm more of a Marvel fan. I know the Marvel universe better than I know the DC universe, so I actually like seeing some superhero comics. There's also some authors that I know, including T. Franklin and Molly Knox Ostertag. I was so excited to see her in there. So I'm going to take a couple hours to finish up Love is Love, and then I'll come back and let you know how it is. And then I realized last night I still have my poetry book, so hopefully I'll start that today, which is There Are Trans People Here. I need to see how long it is because I have a busy day today. As I told you, I'm going into the city for an author event with Mazey Eddings. I'm super excited because I haven't read her books before, but I have been wanting to read A Brush with Love because it has anxiety rep. I'm really excited to go because I have not been to an author event in a long time. Like, it's been years. And no one really ever comes to Philly that is like popular or that I would want to go and see. So I'm excited to have a day in the city because it's also nice out, which is good. I was afraid of that. But I am hoping to get some reading done today because I'm going to be taking the train and all. So I will see you later, hopefully when I've finished up Love is Love. Maybe we could have made it last. My thoughts overlap. Maybe the moment's past. If I ever fall for you again, I said I will let you know just where I am.
Put this book down and like kind of finish revisions on it, and she was just like, I just had all of these ideas for this ADHD woman that was like very messy. I love messy characters and I love messy people because that's so realistic.
Hello, I am back from the author event. It's almost 10 o'clock and I had a really good time. I really enjoyed the conversation that Mazey had. Her main character in A Brush with Love has anxiety, and her next book, Lizzie Blake, has an ADHD heroine, and she just talked about how mental health is important and the representation is important. I have said that time and time again. I just made a video with my mental health book recommendations. So originally I thought this was a dentist rom-com, but it's not. It is about a girl with anxiety who is in dental school and just having anxiety in college. And that made me more eager to pick it up. And I just enjoyed going there. I'm glad I went because I don't go many places because I have anxiety. Yes, I did have a lot of anxiety today. It's just going to happen. But overall, I'm glad I went because I had a good time. And the book is now signed. And Mazey is very nice in person. And then, because I am obsessed with Alatsue, and I'm only 50% into the book, I had to pick up a copy. It's heavy. It's actually really heavy. Like, honestly, this is like a weight. And I love what it looks like inside. Let me show you. Do you see this? I love it. I'm so glad I got a copy of it. I actually had a hard time finding it in the store because I had to look up on Google what the actual genre is, and it's fantasy, mystery, and paranormal fantasy, apparently, is what it's categorized under. But in the end, I found it, and I'm glad that I own it now because I'm obsessed with it. But now I can also hybrid read. Uh, in terms of actual reading, I want to finish Love is Love. I'm very close to finishing it, but I read Cafe con Leche a lot on the train, and I love it. I love characters that hate each other so much. In this case, we have Theo, who hates Gabby a lot. He's being such a dickhead. He's being a douche. He's being really an awful person. But I love that. I love some messy queers, and I just love some hate to love. Like, I love a protagonist who just is full of hate. I love it. So I'm excited to read more of it. I am laughing because these characters are just getting up to shenanigans. Theo is ruthless, but I really like him. He's really good. So I am going to de-stress for the day and relax and hopefully finish Love is Love. And I've kind of been putting it off because it is a heavy read. Like, it is nice because it's about like LGBTQ plus love, but on the other hand, it's also about murder and shootings. And so I kind of have to be mindful of my own mental health while I'm reading it because it is a little heavy. But I'm almost finished with it, so I will update you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of the readathon, so I want to finish up a Lots Away, hopefully read my poetry collection, and I don't know if I'll be able to finish Cafe con Leche, but I really want to. But we'll see what happens. Hello, it is Saturday. It's the last day of the Queer Lit Readathon. I'm about to read my poetry collection. I spent most of the morning listening to a Lots Away. I'm 65% in, so hoping to finish it up in a couple hours. I believe I have like 2 hours left of the audiobook, and I'm really glad that now I have a physical copy because then I can reread it. And I'm just loving it. It has vampires, which is not something that I usually like. I'm really just not a fan of occults, but give me a zombie and ghosts, and I am here for it. And I am not really minding the vampire because that is a part of the story. I don't want to give anything away. So I'm still enjoying a Lots Away. I'm going to read my poetry collection, hopefully get more of a Lots Away read. I just want to finish it, honestly. And then I have to head to the graduation party, and then I will update you on my bingo board probably before I leave. It's me and Leo. I forgot to mention that last night I finished Love is Love, and I just still have the same thoughts that I did prior. Just as I was updating you, I haven't really changed my thoughts. But also, I'm thinking, who am I to review this when it's going to a good cause? But I will mention a few things because there were some things that rubbed me the wrong way. Now, this was published in 2016, so it's definitely outdated. There was a Harry Potter quote from Albus Dumbledore, so want to let you know about that. Some outdated language. We don't use transsexual anymore to refer to trans people. Some older trans people do use that term, but if you're referring to a trans person, just use transgender or trans. And depending on what trans identity they have, like any anthology, there were some comics I liked, some that didn't really have an impact on me, and some were from the perspective of some of the DC universe characters. So this is checking off LGBTQ plus history, and now I'm going to finish up a Lots Away, my poetry collection, and we'll see how the day goes from there. Hello, I am about to go to the graduation party, but I finished a book. The poetry book was really short, but I really liked it. I love trans poetry. It's one of my favorite things. So this is called There Are Trans People Here. I actually saw Tasman from T Books and Tasman post about this on their Instagram. I'll have it down below if you want to look it up. I think it's just like their review, but I saw it and I was like, oh, that's going to be my poetry book, and I'm so glad. I do wish it was just a little bit longer, but it was really about trans joy, and it was awesome. It was like about like if trans people were the only people to exist. One of my favorite poems was If You Are Over Cis People, and it was just trans joy and like just kind of like speaking to trans readers and being like, hey, it sucks right now. A few words to describe this poetry collection are trans joy, trans liberation, and trans history. Some of the poems were dedicated to queer activists and authors, including Carmen Marie Machado. And I just really enjoyed this because there was some history that I didn't know. Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera both have statues in New York, and I didn't know that, and I'm really happy about it. So I really want to go and visit that when I go back to New York. Also, there was a part where the author is in Philadelphia, and literally where I just was, and kind of talks about the history of Pride in Philly, and I just really enjoyed this. So if you want to read a poetry collection about trans liberation and trans joy, I highly recommend this. I just wish it was longer, but I definitely want to buy my own copy of it because I loved it so much. And now, to finish A Lot's Away, I'll probably finish it by the end of the night, which means I will not finish Cafe Con Leche, but I might read it on my way to the graduation. And now round 9 of the Queer Lit Readathon has come to a close. I have a completed bingo board. I got bingo with A Lot's Away, which I'll talk about in a minute, but let's go over what I read. Starting off with the comic anthology Love is Love. I enjoyed it. This was a comic anthology created by queer artists and allies, and this was just to honor those who lost their lives at the Pulse shooting. And so today is actually the anniversary, and if you are interested, I recommend it, but I'll link my review down below with some of the trigger warnings because it is about Pulse, and I already stated that there is a Harry Potter quote. Also, the term transsexual is used, which is totally outdated. I'll actually link a video down below from Skylar Billar, where he just kind of goes over why we don't use that term anymore. If you're referring to a trans person, just use transgender. Some people identify with transsexual, but that is for trans people only and not for cis people to say. So just want to get that out of the way. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And then I read Welcome to St. Hell by Lewis Hancox, and I really enjoyed this. I liked it because I could relate to some of it, and I just love graphic memoirs, but do look out for the trigger warnings. I'll have my Storygraph reviews down below if you just want to know more. I enjoyed this one, so thank you again to Scholastic for sending me a copy. It came out on June 7th, so I'll also have a link down below if you want to pick it up. Then I picked up my poetry collection, There Are Trans People Here, and I loved it so much. I just wish it was a little bit longer. And the last book I finished was A Lot's Away by Darcy Little Badger, which actually gave me a bingo. I used this for Indigenous main character, new to you author, Ace/Arrow main character, and seasonal vibes because it does have the spooky vibes, but it also is set during summer, so it could work for either. I am obsessed with this. I loved it so much, and I really can't wait to read it physically because it was really good, and I don't really like reading about vampires and occults, but like I am obsessed with this, and I highly recommend for everybody to read it because it was so fun, and I highly recommend the audiobook. I'll also link down below some own voices reviews from Indigenous creators, but I loved this so much. I am so glad I have a physical copy because I'm obsessed. And with that, the Queer Lit Readathon is over. If you want to watch more of my reading vlogs from the Queer Lit Readathon, I'll link some down below. I have my queer weekend vlog where I had Instagram control what I read, and I read some trans middle grade, including OB is Man Enough. And this month, I'm giving you queer book recommendations every Tuesday, and I also have some other queer lit related reading vlogs coming. So if you like what you see, feel free to hit subscribe. I have a queer graphic novels vlog coming up probably next week, and it will include my reactions and just more my thoughts on this book. If you participated in the Queer Lit Readathon, let me know in the comments what you read and what your favorite read of the week was. And if you don't have time to leave a comment, just drop me a rainbow emoji so I know you stayed. I will see you next week with more queer book recommendations. Bye.